guys, Philippe here. So today I've got for you the tutorial on how to make a color aimbot. My bet is you've seen my previous video and you've just seen this one, or you just fallen into this video, that's fine. So basically I'm going to show you this aimbot at work, and then you can decide whether you want to follow the tutorial yourself or not. But if you haven't created an aimbot before and you're interested in hacking, I highly recommend you follow this tutorial, as I think you'll learn quite a bit, or at least find out a couple of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the aimbot quickly, and then we'll start with the tutorial properly. Okay guys, so here we are at the game. I spent a couple of rounds because I forgot to modify one or two things, but that's fine, it's all taken care of now, so that's alright. And I had to sort out one setting or two. Now, just before I do this, I'd like to let you know that I've never played Counter-Strike properly, so in total I've probably got about, I'm just going to turn on the hack quickly, probably got about 2 hours lifetime played on Counter-Strike, so I've only used it for hacks. So I'm telling you that because I don't want you to think that the aimbot doesn't perform well because of me. So you see that there, so as you can see right there, the aimbot tends to just aim at them. So as you can see, that guy just aimed at it by itself, so I'm just gonna do that. So he's gone. One thing I also did in the settings though is disable the ragdoll physics. And now what this means is that once an enemy dies, they don't do the ragdoll effect and they don't just disappear. Well, they just disappear, which means when we're scanning, it won't look for them, at least for their colors. So that's quite useful. I'm pretty sure that's not a cheat, so you can do that in any source game. So I'm gonna try and beat these guys to kill that guy, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing to this. You've probably seen the I don't waste more time than I have to here. You've probably seen the I'm gonna go after this guy. You've probably seen the examples or my preview video. Hopefully you've seen that, and that will make everything easier for everyone. So as you can see there, I just took him out quickly. 2 shots, bye bye. And this is it. I mean, I'm not going to show you anymore because we have spent a lot of time doing the actual aimbot tutorial. But I guess if I were to show you this quickly, I would do this. So create server. I'm just going to do something quickly so you can get. Hopefully, this is especially for those of you that haven't seen this yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this in action with friendly, so that way you can see exactly how it behaves. So I'm just going to turn that off. Just select that. Weapon is highly relevant. I guess I can get a quick sniper so you can have a look at how it behaves. But here you go. So there's the guy on my team, and now the aimbot's in action. Now because he's on my team, I'll be able to aim properly without him interfering, because it turns out bots are actually pretty good. Now I will do very little amount of gameplay throughout the actual tutorial because the code is all set out. So see that? So look at that. Look, I'm not even moving my hand, so I know people don't like me clapping on the mic, but that's how it goes. So if I were to do this, as you can see there, it's just aiming at his head and it just focuses on them. So if I let it go, it just keeps chasing them. You can see there. I can do it so it's auto triggered, so it shoots as well straight away. And that's it pretty much. I do the shooting myself, but that's it. There's nothing to this, guys. It's just a nice aimbot. Follows the enemy around, follows whatever color you want. So as you can see, look, there you go. You can jump all he likes. I'll follow him exactly. I don't know what he's jumping, but it's quite useful that he's jumping. So as you can see, I'm not actually touching the mouse or the keyboard at all right now, and that's all it does. It facilitates things for you. So I'm not going to show you any more on this now. Hopefully you understand what this aimbot does, and we're going to get on with the coding now. Alright, let's go for it. So here you can see a couple of quick clips where the aimbot's in action. Now I haven't done anything here, so on these clips there isn't any of my own shooting. Everything is being done by it. So feel free to go back a tiny bit and replay that. You can see this in action. I had to take out the sound just to make sure I don't get in trouble with Valve and YouTube doesn't take the video down, so sorry about that. So just check out how smooth it is. You may not notice it, but you can tell if you pay good attention. You'll notice it's a bot, so if you're unsure, just go back and check it. I haven't done any of the movement myself, so let's keep going with the tutorial. Okay, so one last thing I wanted to mention before we actually get on with the tutorial. This can work for absolutely any game, okay? So some games it may not work because they may be designed differently, but pretty much any game from things like Call of Duty I've tested it in, any Valve game it will work in, it will probably work for combat arms and all the kind of BS like that. So I know a lot of people tend to say, can you do this for this game and whatnot. If you do this tutorial, you will be able to get it to work for any game. Now the only thing you need is some cams. Alright, so if you don't know what cams is, just Google hacks cams and you're gonna have to get those yourself. If you can get those, you can get this working, okay? So that's all you need. Once you've got that, you can get the aimbot working nicely. Okay, it'll work better in some games than others, but it'll work in every game. Okay, so I just like to state that, make that clear for everyone, because I know some people are going to mention that a lot, and I just wanted to make that clear, please. So let's just properly get on with the tutorial, and I hope you enjoy this. Okay then guys, so you should have a folder called files required or whatever in your YouTube description. Now if you've seen this from my site, then it'll be in the attachments. So I'd just like to go over a quick advantages and disadvantages of this compared to the normal aimbot. I'm only going to go over the main ones, and there's a few more, but I want to keep this quick and straightforward. So obviously this is a color detecting aimbot, so like anything else, there's always chances of failing. So for example, if a player's near a dark area or a lighter area, the color will change technically. So you're looking at for example, if you're looking at a range of a solid blue, if it's in a dark area, it'll be a dark blue, so that means it won't detect it, it won't shoot, which means the aimbot won't work as we want it to. And where if it was a struct based aimbot with memory addresses and all that good stuff, it would detect every time because it's not actually checking any pixels or colors. Now our aimbot does have some advantages as well, which is one of the main ones is it's undetectable. So because it's not injecting anything into the game, it's not doing anything like that, we're just saying look at that window, and from Windows we take screenshots of the desktop. That's why we need the game to be windowed mode. So we just take screenshots and we move on with it. So and then we work with those screenshots. So that's why this is actually fairly fast. I mean, overall people tend to complain about color aimbots, but I think the way I did things, it's fairly efficient. It can probably be a bit more efficient if I make some changes to it, I guess, and improvements. But for this tutorial, I think it's quite good and it's usable. So I think that's it for that. Obviously this is nothing compared, well, it's not nothing, but this isn't anywhere near as good as a struct based aimbot. But if you haven't created an aimbot before, this is excellent for you. Hopefully you'll learn how to do it, and this will help you in doing the more difficult aimbots, although they're quite different. So what I do recommend you guys do is instead of just gonna do this here, so instead of viewing this on YouTube, I'd recommend you guys check it out on my website. Now the obvious reason for that is, I'll just show you instead of. So the clear advantage of viewing it on my site is that so here's the main page of my site. I really don't want to go over this for too long. Got a few messages, irrelevant. So let's just go on the forum. The advantage of seeing it on my site is that basically you can see all my tutorials obviously right here, and you can, if I show you one of these, the simpler ones, you can see everything in one page. So all the videos will be in one page, so everything will be here together with the downloads, with some descriptions as well, which will probably still be on YouTube. And then you can download the full attachment and source. So what I do recommend is you go onto my site, which is guidedhacking.com/forum, or just guided hacking, and then jump into the forum, and then that way you can see everything in detail. You don't have to skip videos on YouTube, but feel free to watch them on YouTube, you know, that's fine, I don't really mind. So yeah, obviously you guys do what you want. You know, if you prefer to view it all in one place, my website is the place to be at. If you want to download stuff there, you're gonna have to register though, which is you know, for a lot of reasons, for me anyway. But let's move on. That seems fine. So make sure you download the files from the description or the attachment if you're on my site. And let's get on with this. So the things that you need for this, you need, if you want to follow the exact way I'm doing things, you need Counter-Strike source, which I know a lot of you guys have. You need Counter-Strike source, you need Counter-Strike source bots. So if you Google CSS bots, you will find it straight away, because I did. I just went and downloaded it quick, and it should be quite simple. What I'll actually do is I'll put it in this folder here as well, so you should have in your requirements, your files required. And you also need this hack, but this is in your files required. This will help you put cams on Counter-Strike source. Now if you're using any other game, for example Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, whatever, you're gonna have your own cams for them. So just Google some cams and you find them, and you can do the testing, you can do everything you like. So this will work technically for any game. Alright, so I think that's it. And yeah, I mean, to make sure we don't do any more delays, I'm just going to go through the aimbot logic quickly, because I've wasted plenty of time. So how does this work? So here you've got the aimbot. I've stolen some of this off my trigger bot tutorial, if you remember that one, but the idea is very similar. On the trigger bot we took not a screenshot, we just grabbed pixels from a small area on the screen, where here we grab the whole screen, or at least the whole game window, and we work with that. What we do is we take a screenshot of the game, then we get that screenshot and put it into an array, a very big array, okay, of probably a couple of million pixels, and then we loop through that array and we compare the colors. So let's say we want to compare for blue, we want to say, is that color blue in the array? So let's say this is the array, for example. Obviously an array isn't quite like this, but this is the array, and we find a color here. This is white. If our color is white, then we'll say yes, shoot, or reposition the mouse. Okay, so if color equals choice, we reposition the mouse. And what this means is it's always taking screenshots approximately every 50-60 milliseconds. So it takes screenshots, adapt, and that's what it does. And that's why this is sort of resource hogging, but at the same time you don't really need anything special to run this. Okay, so a normal single core will probably run it just fine, unless you want to do the real hardcore stuff and really improve it, but that's fine. So I hope you understand that. This just happens continuously. This isn't anything difficult. Hopefully you just get your head around it. I'm sure most of you guys will understand it. Okay, so feel free to pause there if you didn't understand that and read it again. Sorry about my squeaky desk thingy. Okay, so we're going to start the actual tutorial. Hope I didn't waste too much time there. Let's open up Visual Studio or Dev C++, whichever one you've got. And then what we're going to do is just going to move this over here. We're going to create a new project. And we're going to say Win console with 32 console window. That's fine. And what I'm going to call mine is, I want to call it YouTube color aimbot. You call whatever you like on yours. So next, I usually like to do an empty project, because that way we take control over everything. So once we've got this here, we're going to create a couple of things, and I'm just going to check. Okay, so what we're going to start by doing is adding our header file and C++ file. So let's add a C++ file, main.c++ main. So I do apologize if I sound a bit slow tonight, or I really hope I don't make too many mistakes. I don't want to re-record this, but I'm a bit tired at this point, because I'm a little girl, apparently. So we're going to call this one scan contents, and now it's not really for any specific reason other than well, it's kind of useful to have a nice name for it. So what we're going to do first thing is we're going to do our includes. So I'm just going to grab this file here so I can compare with mine. Main basic concept, that's the one. So I'm just going to do this here, just going to comment some stuff out quickly so we can make sure we write the correct code. And once we've got that, we just uncomment that, and that should be fine. So here we go. Oh, for God's sake, got an email. I really should have turned my thingy off. Get lost email. Okay, so let's get on with this. So first thing we want to do is we want to say on our main.c++, we want to say include. And what this obviously means, I've got to probably miss out the basic stuff, because I assume most of you guys already know